Okay, so it's at Love Clark again, and everything's positive here. All the time, the outlook's positive, so your monetization can be pleasant as we wait for your commercials or something. So, anyway, I guess if you guys don't know, or you can look back in history, whether this was a fail or, well, it's a fail either way, but the terms of use with the, YouTube, changed to basically you can't report the news, you can't be graphic in any way with your language, and anything that, graphic language is just anything that's very descriptive language that will put a thought into your head, place a thought into your head. Very descriptive language, that's all the graphic is. People make graphic out to be awful when, when a graphic is a way to is defining the details. Okay? Devil's in the details, so how come they don't want you to be graphic? Because you can't point out the devil in the details. You can't point out the devil in the details. I'll say it again. You can't point out the devil in the details. Okay? That's what they want to do this for. Another reason is because, like I said before, it's close to election time. But what do we want to talk about? Well, we want to talk about this positive, very positive message about the Foreign Workers Exchange Program. Okay? It sounds very great. It sounds wonderful. It sounds Soviet. And since the times we live in are so free, and the most free people are the Soviet, because this is the Soviet states of, or communist country of California. Well, anyway, we're free. That's what they told us. Remember? They told us that. It's, when they tell us is always true. And this message is brought to you by @Luv Clark. And that is truly my name. Really. For reals. No, I had it changed. Really. It was Mr. Gullible last year. Yeah, sure. But I think there might be a copyright on that name. Yeah. So I can't use it. But it sure is a positive message anyway. Yeah. Sure. So this worker program, this worker program is funny because guess what? Everyone that did any damage to anyone now has to go work for them. So Japan, you have to go fix up, parts of Hawaii. And you have to go work there. And I don't know how we're going to tally up the hours because this is going to be a worldwide public service, okay? Public service work. When you go to, since we want to be a peaceful worldwide community now, we've got to have peaceful, everyone that did anything violent, whether it was good or bad, needs to repent. And the way to save yourself, remember, because there's no gods here, because, oh, that's offensive, right? I should have said goddess, because someone out there, got offended by the word God, but not only just God, the concept of an almighty creator that they might be, have to be responsible and face one day. Oh no, I said God as in reference to a male, but I didn't mean to. I'm so sorry. What if it was a goddess? Or what if it was your hermaphrodite god with the goat head? Would that please all left and right crowds? See where I'm going? Of course you do. Everything is a can of beans they opened, and then they just tried to slam it shut, the lid shut, when they realized how much was going to come out of it. And they do this quite often. But here's the other thing I want to talk about that's important before I forget. I'll get back on the thread again. This foreign workers exchange thing, it can work anyway. So, we blew up a bunch of their buildings over in the Middle East, right? Well, since China took all our jobs and these other foreign, companies are job manufacturing cars, which is why they want to bring Syrians to rebuild Detroit, then why don't we go ahead and have the Chinese come work in Syria? How's this going to work? Well, this worker exchange program, it might not work out as best as I planned. Oh, that's right, because I just, on the whim, that's what people do nowadays, on the whim. The popular is the plan. Because there is no plan, because if planning is unpopular, because you got to be ready to change, you got to be ready to change. The look on you guys' faces. Anyway, I can't see it, but I can only imagine. Oh, that's a little too descriptive. No. Everything at once. But, yeah, so okay, let's just pretend for a minute that now the Americans are going to go rebuild Syria and those places that we helped tear down. Okay. Now, so everyone's going to, and this is the new worldwide world. So we've all got to be doing public service work. It's redemption. You have to work. Okay? That's what this is about, being a Soviet now. It's about working for your people. And not yourself, not your own family, but the people. A human sacrifice, your whole life. To the people. Not to God, not to better your own, or to better people around you, not your people, but the people that surround your people. Okay? Not even that, but. So this is really a mixed up kind of message, and I hope it doesn't get confused with the truth. It's just a lot of different things floating around in there, and it's like around election time, but I can't believe they want to, Here's the thing I wanted to speak of that I forgot, once again, because I got caught up. Listen, okay, the conditions that we have got in here in the United States are not bad. Okay, they're not bad on a world scale. They are not bad. We are far from bad right now. Okay, nobody's seen bad yet. If you think anything's been bad in the last 50 years, you got to be kidding me. Okay, on a world scale compared to the rest of the people, we've lived comfortably well and secure. Okay. Now, but there's one group of people that has been very, very, very good at keeping their people miserable as part of their religion, because it keeps the people down and then they make everyone think that they point the finger at everyone else around them and say, see, those are the people why you're miserable. Those are the ones why you're miserable. And those people over there, they're the people why you're miserable too. And they point out the finger at everyone around them and say, now go kill them. To solve your problem, get rid of these people or make them bow to our religion. There's one nation, as Islam, but one nation, there's one group of people that are good at doing this perpetually. They continually keep their people in this state of disgruntled postal state. Well, they're just ready, they're just angry and they're fed up, but they're not being told who's doing it. Okay? Who's the real person, because the biggest victim of Islam is Muslims. But, okay, why is it that we've had this most disgruntled time with our free speech, with everything, and everything looking like it's a burden on us, like a yoke, and all this is going to be broken, it's too much, like enslavement or whatever, whatnot they want to make it out to be, Why does it feel like it's such a struggle? Why are we so pissed off in every area of our life in America? Why has this turned this way? I mean, I know a lot of the reasons why. You could say, well, because this, because that, because this, because that. But who directed all this into us spiraling down into this pit where we're just like disgruntled with every situation, and we really have no rights because other people's rights are more important, or feelings are more protected in their little bubbles or whatnot, okay? PC or whatever you want to call it, cult, okay? Well, there's been a president in office for 8 years, okay? No, that wasn't a stumble to say 88, for 8 years. Although I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't involved in that, because he's really a racist, a bi-racist. He hates both races, in my opinion. Oh, well, that's a positive thing here, so if that seemed negative, I'm so sorry. It was supposed to be viewed in a positive light. This guy was raised a Muslim. He knows how to do this to people, implement this kind of stuff and attitude onto the country, and then get them disgruntled and angry. Because, see, that's how you get the people moving and angry, and then point them out to false targets, okay? So that's what the president's been doing a lot. A whole lot. Think about it. Think about it for a minute. Why have we felt so disgruntled? Why have people felt so left out and disgruntled, and then have a black president, and there's all this black unrest, like it has no bearing on it. And I believe that if there would have been a fine black president, then had some kind of real decency to want to help all, then they would have been helping the black community more than they did, okay, and helping all different people. But this guy has been good at it because he's raised this way. He knows how the system works. He knows how to get people and keep people disgruntled. You make their life at home a living hell. You show them that there's other people going back and forth around your country getting what they want, and they're not even from your country, and you show them everyone else prospering and free and happy, and you point those people out and say, see, this is your problem, and you point all these other people out. It's the same map and mirror of how they've kept people down in the dumps in the Muslim countries, which haven't sold out yet, which would only, basically the ones at Saudi Arabia that have sold out, and the those guys over there, that's why Saudi's the only country that's like really been friends with the United States so long, because they made a bunch of princes and kings over there, making them rich, and the other people didn't sell out for good reason. I mean, common sense people need to stop think about other people's situations a little bit, and understand that this has all been, this really has been orchestrated, string pulling, puppeteering. There's a master of puppets at work, and even the president's one of them. Okay? The president's even one of them. But I'm looking at something. It's flying really low. Anyway, so you can look at that example of different videos that would other people explain it better, that how they keep their people in Muslim countries disgruntled, in a state of disgruntled and miserable in every different level, so that they're just pissed off and they don't care, and they're angry at everyone. you know, and then and you tell them it's justified and it's in all the rights and that it's what they should do for their country, for the world, for God and their family, and then send them packing with some dynamite or some AKs. Because, oh, by the way, that's a positive message, you know, that's only positive. I mean, me speaking about, you know, sending people to paradise, isn't that a wonderful thing? Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be wonderful if you could go with them to paradise, YouTube executives and people that make up these decisions and politicians? Oh, how wonderful that you could go to paradise with them. Why don't you just strap a bunch of stuff to yourself and walk into something and blow up? Because, you know, it's such paradise. And there's one person I want to mention. Friend of mine, Shindo. I don't care what people believe about your titles and all that stuff, because we already know that stuff's bullshit, bell shit anyway. Oops. I only meant it in a positive way. But, he mentioned with this army that we have in the United States that can, like, topple, like, 10 times the other armies around the world and shit. Okay? And I didn't mean in shit, but we probably could if we wanted to. We could probably fill our guns up somehow or fit something on there that could shoot our shit at them. Our feces, I should say. But that's a little too graphic for you guys, so maybe, you know, it's not in the best light that we do that. Anyway, he mentioned that we have this army that's still the most kick-ass army right now, and military, okay? If we have this military that could just defeat other armies 10 times better than the rest of them, and with all this equipment and everything, you can't tell me 100,000 people in some little shit-stained country being covered by ISIS and overrun by ISIS can't be crushed by just our military if we wanted to. But if Donald Trump rolls over in his bed tomorrow and farts a blue fart, that's not good enough to have an HD, close-up, high definition through his wall, see through his wall with X-ray vision, okay, from a satellite that could probably even read his lips and tell you what he's saying if it can't record the audio. That's one of my ideas for another day, so you can't, that's my idea. Nope, don't use it. Patent right there, I told you. Mark the date right now. Anyway, they probably already did it. The point is that, if you listen to this for a second, okay? If the details are so fine that the Homeland Security knows, and it's not good enough that they need to send somebody in with a suit, invisible suit, to smell that fart up close, a CIA to smell that fart and then describe it back in real time as they do it, okay? And they might have somebody that goes back in time to send an agent back in time to warn them about Donald Trump farted a blue fart. So if they can get all that information on a person or just anybody in the United States, they could find Osama bin Laden in a cave, okay, in the middle of nowhere in a cave. How come you can tell me that they can't use that intelligence and that in our military might without help from the United Nations or any other country and take ISIS and wipe them completely out if we wanted to? Well, first of all, the power of our pride, okay, or the power of, our pride, our ability, the power of our military to actually be a functioning military, do its job, has been decimated. They can't do their jobs. It's kind of like the police department, which I don't always agree with the police department's ways, okay? Because I have some scars from the police, too. But my point is that it's much better place with law enforcement, okay? You gotta believe it. You gotta know it. It is. But with all these kind of things, you gotta think about it, how the people get disgruntled on these different levels and every level. But this So this all goes back to ISIS anyway. Shindo, you had an excellent point, and that is that with all this, and with my ideas thinking into how easily that they can get all the details on one person, whoever they want to target in the United States, and they used all that intelligence to find Bin Laden in a cave, okay? Now, however you want to believe that went down, whatever, but I'm just using the overall what the news says, okay? Because if I go outside of the news, or what the news pretends to say, and it's not news, because this is what I'm talking about is old, so it's not news, so you can't categorize it. Anyway, I think you get my point. If we can find all the details and information on one little person and every aspect of their life, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week in the United States, and we can find that snake in that cave, why couldn't we wipe out ISIS? No problem. Without help from other people. Okay? It would be no problem. We would not even have to send one troop on the ground. Drones. Robotics. It doesn't have to be flying drones, because they've got all those DARPA robots just waiting to manufacture. Okay? This is a positive message, right? I mean, you send the drones, they can strap on bombs and send people to paradise. We all kill them all, let God sort them out. We all get what we want, right? So anyway, with the military might that we have, and intelligence, and technology, and all this stuff, ISIS could be wiped out. Wiped out. Wiped out. Alright? Wipe it. Wipe it good. Alright? I mean, this is what people, they want you to do. They want you to be like me, get angry, and start doing this shit. Because this is what Hitler got people doing too. And am I knocking on Hitler? No, some of those ideas were great. A lot of the stuff, you know, I'm not going to go there because it's however you want to go, positive or negative. Anything negative or considered negative is, you know, against the rules now or something. As you could tell by the sarcasm of this video, that I'm really serious. Anyway, so, point was, on that one, ISIS could be wiped out without any ground troops, and nobody would even have to go to that country. We just send our shit. Robotics. Drones. Okay? And you could wipe them out that way. Wipe them all out that way. That's another way. Okay? There's so many different ways. And it's not being utilized. Why do they always wait to the last minute to use the shit that they just have laying around, you know? But, I mean, that's a very good point. We've got the best military in the world with all the highest technology and, you know, top-of-the-line training and, you know, all this great stuff. And you can't take out a peddly 100,000 little army here or there in Syria or wherever they are, you know. Doesn't make sense to me. Every time they want to take out anybody that they really want to take out, they just go and they take them out. Even in this country, you know. Look at David Koresh. Oh no, but that was, you know, I'm not saying that's negative. That was a positive thing, right? All those hundreds of people that burned up, men, women, and children in a building. Wasn't that wonderful? They got to go to paradise, right? I mean, wasn't that a great uplifting experience? Everyone got to see that building burn up, and the FBI just, and all these different Homeland Security groups. I didn't mean that word, the T word. I really meant team. You know, go team, right? Because we got to be positive. So all these people, you know, Waco, they got to go to, you know, they got to go up to the Spirit in the sky with the fire and smoke, right? And that was positive. Oh, it was wonderful. Plus, the United States got rid of a very dangerous cult member that was just, standing around, basically preparing for, to battle the government if need be, basically preparing and wanting to use their Second Amendments, and paranoid government getting scared of one little group like this. It's ridiculous, these kind of things that just make you go, right? So, I guess this video is about a lot of different things. And it's pointing out a lot of different things, but like I said, I don't go by script or teleprompter. And I won't. I don't give a shit. I really don't. Oops, did I say I don't give a shit? I mean, I don't give a feces. Oh no, that's too descriptive. Anyway. So, you guys, you get the point. How ridiculous, redundant every freaking thing is in the world. Oh, did I say that in a negative sounding light? I'm sorry. Here, let me get closer to the light. Is that better for you, YouTube, and your advertiser-friendly nature? Because all those advertisements on Fox and all those other corporate people, entities, and those shows say a lot more disgusting, gross, graphic, and everything else just right on your antenna television. Okay? So, what is the difference? So, what it is YouTube is basically they're playing another social experiment. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Hillary wasn't behind that, because why all of a sudden, this close to the campaign and the election time, all of a sudden, wow. Because she controlled the mainstream media, but she could not control the alternate, right, and the alternate media, which is people on YouTube and different things like that. So what people got to recognize is that fact. Okay, look how close it is to election time. They do a media blackout. The Team Hillbilly has always done that since Arkansas governor. Okay, since Team Hillbilly was in Arkansas, they've done this. They have a ring of power, and they have a media blackout, and they control all the media and every aspect of it. If they don't like something, they just wipe it out, control the media, spin it, or whatnot. This practice is not just the Clintons, but the Clintons have mastered this. They have mastered this. They're the masters of this. She did not predict ahead of time how credible YouTube would be, because she probably isn't in the real reality. Okay, she probably never even clicked on a YouTube video herself. It's too common, So, they're the masters of this kind of stuff. So it would not really surprise me if Team Hillbilly, were not pulling strings to remove people's coverage of them. Because why did they, in the statement, why is it also political and like world news events and stuff like that we cannot cover now? We can't talk about. Because it's a blackout, and she did not predict that she would have to worry about YouTube. But now she's looking closer to the election time. She's like, well, I got to lay the smack down on this YouTube, because that's the only people where the truth is leaking out. It's leaking out left, right, up, and down. I mean, it's leaking everywhere, lady. Yeah. It's what happens sometimes. Sometimes you get caught up in your lies. But that's a positive thing, people, and I'm going to leave that on a positive note and let you decide if you think that may be suspicious, that the masters of blacking out the media and the people controlling the media right now is election time, and the people in power are controlling the media, and around election time, and all of a sudden they want a media blackout so bad that they're willing to pull whatever strings they have to at YouTube to get what they want done. Think about it. Do you really think that this is a coincidence? that right before election time, the only person getting positive messages on the news, really getting the real positive messages on the news and reactions, is on YouTube and websites, not regular news. So who do you think's pulling whose strings? All right? I never said pick up either snake. What I do want you to do is examine the truth. Don't ignore all the evidence, and there's an obvious person to vote for. It's up to you. And I'm going to leave that on a positive note, because that is very positive when you can point out the truth, but let other people decide what they want to believe, the truth or lie. And do you think it's just a coincidence with all this going on, that it's just such a coincidence, just by chance, election coming right up, and the only place where anything's being actually told truth, real news, is coming from YouTube. It's being darkened. So I'll let you decide if you think that's coincidence and if that's positive or negative.